From the streets of Nairobi to courtrooms across the country, the debate is raging. Can vandalism during protests amount to terrorism? Director of Public Prosecutions Renson Ingonga says yes and is not backing down.
Terrorism is not only when you bomb using bombs, but if you make acts that are endangering human life, government installations, that is an act of terrorism. So we must understand where we are coming from. That is why we are able to charge people under that act.
Ingonga was speaking during a prosecutor's training in Nairobi, part of a national rollout of the decision to charge guidelines designed to standardize prosecutorial discretion across the country.
They must not always have guns or bombs for us to charge under that act. This is a law that was passed in 2014 by our legislature. And it is a law that is there. And it doesn't mean when a law has not been applied for some time, when you apply it, then it's not the law. That is the law.
His comments comes days after prominent activist Boniface Mwangi was arrested and initially accused of facilitating terrorism during the June 25 protests. But by Monday, those charges had shifted. He now faces possession of ammunition without a valid license. Rights groups say this shows the state is walking back under pressure. But the DPP disagrees.
And it doesn't mean that if demonstrations are against the executive, when the DPP makes a decision, it is from the executive. No, we make our own decisions based on the law and evidence available.
Vincent Chahale from the International Justice Mission, the group that helped craft the decision to charge guidelines policy, warned that poor charging decisions have historically caused deep harm.
We, for many years, represented victims who had been accused of what you would call trumped-up charges. And therefore, the gap that we saw was that what then made a prosecutor make that decision to charge, what guided him? And we found that there was no policy.
Chahale says with some court cases dragging on for up to 6 years, a flawed decision to charge can ruin lives.
There were so many gaps within the criminal justice system, which resulted in innocent people going through a lengthy criminal trial, only to be found innocent, or only for them to later file cases for malicious prosecution, which, of course, it would take a very long time for them to get compensation.
Still, critics argue that charging protesters with terrorism is a gross overreach and an attempt to intimidate dissenters.
So if people behave in that manner and there is enough evidence that you committed that kind of crime, you'd be charged without any favor. As long as there's evidence, that's what we go by. So I'm not under any directions of anyone whatsoever.
37 youths across the country have been charged over the June and July protests and many others under investigation. Ben Chumba, Prime Edition.